Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mind Prosperity. We are so excited today. I have a good friend of mine, Hendrik Vorster, and a lot of times I refer to him. He doesn't even know this, but a lot of time in my YouTube videos, I refer to him because he taught me a lot about journaling and how journaling can help you, to get your mind and specifically your subconscious mind at a great place. And today, Hendrik and I are going to speak about the 6 higher faculties or the 6 higher mental faculties for success. Hendrik is going to give us the 6 higher faculties, and I'm going to ask him a few questions on how to truly apply these 6 higher faculties so that we can optimize the success that we have. Okay, Hendrik, I'm going to start with this question. First of all, welcome. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much. You're from the Institute of Possibilities, IOP, and this is my first question. So I'm just gonna get into this. Can we become whatever we want to become, or are we limited?
Well, I believe everything is possible, you see. So once you start understanding your fantastic, brilliant mind, you see, how we can invent ourselves, recreate ourselves, So you can actually be anyone you want and have anything you want, like in absolutely the truth. So yes, I believe everything is possible if you want it.
Quickly explain to me recreating yourself. How did you recreate yourself? Can I just ask your story in your life? You 56, 57 years old now. How did you recreate yourself, and where did this journey start for you?
The most important word that you will ever say in life is actually 2 words. I am, So, and I am is actually a programming in the subconscious mind, because since before birth, actually, people tell you who you are, your parents give you a name, and then they are starting to form your I am, that's normally a pseudo or a false I am, When you start to awaken and getting awareness that you are much more than just a physical 5 senses being, you've got actually unlimited potential, then you start to form different beliefs, So just this morning, I wrote in my journaling time, if you want to change your beliefs, you must change your I am statements.
That's good.
So we normally, if you talk about self-image, we say that it's not the question of who I think I am, it's who I think I'm not. Not good enough, not smart enough, not that, So the reinvention takes place when you start to change the I'm not to I ams, So I've got a specific way now I've discovered my I am, and that was for me in the likeness and image of my creator, for me.
That's amazing. And tell me quickly, when did your journey of recreating yourself start, and what is the difference between the person who you were and the person who you are now?
It actually came over many years. If you look at I think there's some catalysts that actually start to awaken you over a period of time. So many years ago, I've done the Gallup Strengths Finder 2.0, and so I identified my 5 strengths, achiever, strategist, futurist, lifelong learner, ideator. And one thing in my profile was I must achieve, Now, I was in an organization for 30 years plus, and I just couldn't achieve. And I didn't know why, So it actually caused a lot of, physical health problems, And I remember in 2017, on my 51st birthday, I was in a doctor's office, and I asked him his stomach cancer on the table, So for many years, because of a kind of I couldn't get through it, And then after that, after we said, he said to me, well, it's on the table, but let's see. And it was fortunately not cancer, And then I started to realize I must make some huge changes. And then I started to research, because I'm a researcher. And then slowly I started to change my beliefs. And then in 2020, another huge thing happened. I call that a huge catalyst. And that thing, now normally, when you experience a huge emotional shock, maybe like a big loss or something, and that's what I had, a huge loss. But then I said to myself, well, the problem can never be outside of myself. The problem must be inside.
Sure.
So either I believe the wrong things, either I'm ignorant, I need some knowledge or wisdom, and then I started with my research, and then I discovered some wonderful concepts and ideas that changed my life totally. That was so wonderful. So change is a series of catalytic experiences. Some huge, some smaller, but that's how you start to actually evolve.
I love it. I'm gonna speak about this, the six higher faculties, or I want us to speak about the six higher faculties, because these are the principles you applied to become the person that you are today, not just in business. It's not just about being successful in business, but it's successful in your relationships. It is successful in your physical health. You can I remember you actually taught me about happy, healthy, wealthy, and that's kind of like a success that you have holistically. So can you speak to us about the six higher faculties and how it contributes to your holistic success?
Yeah, that's something that's very close and dear to me. I always said to myself, how is it that I turned 54, and in my 54th year, I heard for the first time in my life about a thing such as six higher faculties. Now I've been teaching and lecturing for many years. I've directed a certain institute as well, but I've never seen that six higher faculties as a unit, and when I saw it, I said to myself, that's the most fantastic thing. Now, I must give credit to a man. His name was Bob Proctor. He
Yes.
taught that, and another word for higher faculties actually was superpowers, But you must actually understand your mind first. So according to me, my mind is not my brain. Your mind is an activity, okay, of intense energy and thought, consisting of three parts, according to me, that's interrelated: your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, your superconscious mind. Okay. Now, the most important thing is your subconscious mind. Your programming controls 95% of your life, you see, because we have been programmed. But we are not victims of our program.
That's good.
Programming, not victims of other people, Now, that's the biggest thing. If you understand your conscious mind. Now, the six higher faculties that I've learned, and I keep on learning, I keep on experiencing it, I keep on experimenting with that, is number one, will. Now, will is your ability to concentrate, to focus. When I make a decision, I keep on disciplining myself and persisting on something. You get an idea and you keep on thinking about it, and that's your focus. Learning how to focus, look at something for 3 seconds, 5 seconds, it's quite difficult for us because we're so overstimulated, actually focus. So will is our ability that I can actually concentrate and focus on something. Now, what helps me to do that? Journaling. You see, not typing. Take my pen and write it down on a piece of paper, because that helps you to focus your ideas and thoughts on a piece of paper, especially if you've got a mind that's all over the place,
Can you quickly just before you go on, just tell the listeners how much you have journaled over the last 3 years?
Well, it's my 65th journal now. I get up every morning at 4:30 for a reason, and I think today was day 1219. I think today, And my passion, because I'm doing that, is to reprogram my subconscious mind, you know. And how do you do it? Through repetition, 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 you see.
Yeah.
And the more I do it, the more it becomes part of me. And then if I program my subconscious mind, then everything is on autopilot, you know. It's like, you know, my brain's like a cell phone battery. That's why I put certain things in certain places, so I didn't look for it. So I actually preserve my battery power, you know.
That's good.
So I've got a very strategic reason for everything I do, you know. So I will not compromise my journaling time. I organize my life around it, you know. If I must get to the place early, I get up 3 o'clock in the morning, you know. But I will do it because that's my persistence and discipline in programming of my subconscious mind. And I can tell you so many stories of how it actually works for me, you know. Yeah, so I will do it on my last day in my life. I think I will be 95 plus. I will get up that morning, do my journaling, do my push-ups, and then I go to heaven in the afternoon. That's what I believe, yeah.
Amazing. So journaling, yeah, I love it, and you actually taught me about journaling, something that I started to do. And I love what you say about repetition. So the first higher faculty is your will, and you just described your will. What would the second higher faculty be?
That's reason, you know.
Reason, okay.
Now, reason is the way that you think. Now, to remember, I think somebody asked Dr. Albert Schweitzer many years ago, Dr. Schweitzer, what is wrong with humankind? So he said, after he thought a while, he said, you know, people don't think, you know.
Wow.
So what the normal person do is we just process other people's thoughts, you know. So the media feeds us with all kinds of things. And so we never think for ourselves, you know. So thinking is like actually creative thinking and then critical thinking. Now, I remember many years ago when I did philosophy, I said to myself, if I believe something, how do I know it's true? And how do I prove it's true? See,
That's good.
so if I have creative thinking, but then critical thinking, where's the truth? Where's the absolute? Against what standard do I actually measure it, you know? Now, with your reason, because your conscious mind is your educated mind, your belief-forming mind, your reasoning mind, you know? So when you start to understand the laws, you know, because with your 6 higher faculties work the universal laws. Now, there's a lot. I use the 8 primary laws for me. I write it down every day in my journal. The law or principle of mentalism, correspondence, vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, gender, as well as care, you know. The most generative principle is care, because if I care for somebody, it will bring a lot of things into action in my life, you know. So, and of course, other laws like, you know, perpetual transmutation and gestation and, you know, a lot of those, you know. So when you use your reason to understand it and to apply it, because remember, understanding is applied knowledge.
Mm.
So that's highly important. So,
There's
and
a,
it's a continuous thing, yes.
there's a term called, and I think this connects a lot to reason. There's a term that I teach a lot of my emotional intelligence series. The term is called metacognition. I don't know if you've ever heard of metacognition. And it simply states, think about what you are thinking about. So
Yeah,
it's the whole idea of sitting down and thinking about your thoughts. What am I thinking? Why am I thinking it? Is this what I want to think? Does that connect to reason?
absolutely. You see, absolutely. And again, there's where your journaling thing comes in, you know, because when you write something down and then you actually evaluate that, you know, so that's the metacognition. I think about my thinking, you know,
Sure.
when I interpret my thoughts on paper, you see. So reason is one of your most wonderful things. That's why your conscious mind is the gatekeeper of your subconscious mind, you see. So so people don't think, they aren't aware of the 6 superpowers, the mental faculties. And that's why, you know, they're just getting programmed without they even being aware of that. And that gives the results there, you see. So for me, the higher faculties is actually your gatekeeper. It's how you recreate your life, you know. So, and the more you practice it and learn about it, the stronger you become, you know.
Does
So it's
will, does will I'm going back to the first one now. Does will have anything to do with desire?
definitely, you know,
Okay.
because remember, a want that you actually give thought energy
Mm.
develops into a desire, you know. Now, there's always a thing. I remember when in 2020 in September, I remember one night very late, one evening very late, I had a meeting with the King of Kings. And I remember it's still in my journals there, some of my early journals. So I've asked my king a couple of things. And one thing I've asked him, will it be okay if I move to Cape Town? Because I wanted to live in Cape Town for more than 30 years, you know. Now, so it was a want, you see. So I said there that night, okay, I'll give myself 24 months, 2 years to prepare, because a lot of things had to fall into place for me to move to Cape Town. And I remember at the time, it was the flame was a bit lower, and then suddenly it intensified, you know. And then where I actually made, you know, action steps to actually become it. So the want became a desire, focused thoughts, you know, using my imagination, you know, picturing myself there. And yeah, and I'm living in Cape Town since February this year, you know. Yeah, wonderful.
And there I hear you applied both will and reason. Can you take us to the third higher faculty?
Oh, well, a very important one is perception, you know, perception. Because remember, um, you know, what is real is not real. It's according to my perspective on reality, you know. Now, if you want to give a kind of a definition of perception, actually awareness shaped by your beliefs, you see.
And
Now,
beliefs, sorry, I just want to ask this. You say it's your awareness, so that's about kind of like what you're aware of right now. Say, for instance, you get information, you see something, you're aware of something, shaped by your beliefs. Is beliefs connected to what you called earlier the subconscious mind or your programming?
absolute, because your parents and your teachers and politics and everything, you
Wow.
know, it was actually, we believe this and we do that, you know. So when you start changing your belief, because a belief is like a door that you open for some possibilities.
Mm.
Everything else is closed, you
Wow.
know. So once you start changing a belief, you open up another door, and in that door, the thousand other doors, and then a million other doors, you know. So
Sure.
you actually open up possibilities for you, you know.
Mm.
But where does it start? With your belief system, you know.
Your belief system.
So I think when you become aware of what do I believe, you know, what I believe about God, myself,
Mm.
life, you know, about I think we've talked about it the other night, is I believe that everything that happened to me is for my good, you know.
Okay.
Irrespective of what happens, good will come out of it.
Wow.
If that becomes your belief, you know, you will just attract all good things, you know.
I remember Bob Proctor said, and you mentioned Bob Proctor earlier. He said, "We do not see with our eyes; we see through our eyes, but we see with our perception."
Yeah.
And I was thinking about, because I wanna see if I understand this correctly on how you explain it. So, say for instance, or we can say you don't listen with your ears; you listen through your ears, but you still listen with your perception. So if I say, for instance, the word, if I get 100 people and I say the word money, you will have different emotional responses because of different perceptions. If I say the word marriage, you will have different responses because of different perceptions based on what they believe that word means to them. Am I correct?
Absolute, you know. Like for instance, marriage for me is something very positive, you know. So I've been married for 30 years. My father was married 5 times. my mother 4 times, Didn't make them bad people, They just made certain decisions, So I had great parents, but I believed, marriage is a fantastic thing, So it feels like I'm only married for 2 years and it's 30 years,
Mm.
So it's my belief. So I believe it's a fantastic adventure to have a wonderful, you know, my 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 partner, my friends, and so on. So, and you can actually apply that to a lot of things, So talking about money, if you if you ask a person what will you do with a million rand, and the response will immediately tell you what is a paradigm about money.
Oh, that's good.
If you just listen to what people say about people that are actually wealthy, just listen to their words. You'll pick up their belief system,
Mm.
and you'll understand why they have the results that they do. So all of us, I had to make a new. Well, I had to really remake my whole perception and belief about money.
I remember Dr. Joseph Murphy said in his book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and I do believe it's also a book that you've read a few times.
Mm.
But I remember he said in the book, if you criticize or speak about people who have a lot of money, then you will never have it. Because if you
Yeah,
speak ill of it, your subconscious start to believe that it's a negative thing, and that becomes your perception, right? If we speak about perception, then if you always, when you see a rich person or a wealthy person, you criticize them and you question them, then later it gets to a place where your subconscious starts to believe that it's a bad thing, and that's where it gets to perception. I know another psychologist that I know, Dr. Vorster, told me that if you keep telling your friends, my wife is angry, my wife always says this to me, then your subconscious will come to a place where it just cancels out all the good deeds your wife does, and it will just enlighten all of the bad deeds she does, because that's what you keep on saying, and that's what you keep on thinking. And if it goes in your subconscious, it starts to shape your perception. So you can even have good things around you, and you don't experience them. I know there's also like a scripture in the Bible that says, those who trust in the Lord, even when heat comes, even when bad circumstances come, they will experience good. But those who don't trust in the Lord, even when good comes, they will experience bad. And it's all about because of that perception, because of that programming, right?
that belief system,
Belief,
absolutely.
belief system.
Now, remember in my journey, I identified my beliefs. And some of those I've changed, I radically changed. You see, I remember one thing. I made 4 decisions very early in my journey, and because I had a scarcity programming, I used Deuteronomy 28. It's always my starting thing. I don't care. Before I go to bed tonight, I will read Deuteronomy 28. And if you know the depth in that, And so when I started, I said, I made 4 committed decisions in my life. Okay. I said, I shall and will always listen to the voice of my king. Number 2, I will do what he tells me. Number 3, I will believe what he says, although I don't understand it yet. And number 4, I will be a lifelong learner.
I like that word "yet." Just because we don't understand something doesn't mean we're never going to understand it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Hendrik, I wanna ask you this. If it's okay. I know we haven't spoken about this like before this video, but can we because I just want to land on number 3 a bit. Can we do the other 3 for next week? Maybe because
Yeah, I would
okay,
love it.
great. You said
Thank
yes,
you.
because I want to land on number 3 just for the last 10 minutes or so that we have, because I don't want to rush this. I just want to land on number 3 because I think perception is such an important thing. If your perception is wrong, you're gonna do life wrong. I know that's kind of like a bold statement, but if you do
Absolute.
perception wrong, you're gonna do life wrong.
Absolute.
So your perception, I just wanna re-emphasize this. Your perception is your awareness. You're aware of something shaped by your beliefs. And I want to go as far as to say your subconscious beliefs that runs, you said 95% of your life is run by your subconscious mind. I remember Dr. Joe Dispenza said, the body becomes the subconscious mind. And Dr. Joe Dispenza said, when the body becomes the subconscious mind, the body knows how to do it better than the mind does. That's where the body just start to do things out of habit. Okay, so we have will, we have reason, we have perception. How do you change? Because your perception is not just going to change by one thought or just one decision. It takes one thought or one decision to start the journey, definitely. But if people are listening now and say, listen, I need to change my perception, I need to change my programming, how do we do that?
It starts with a question. Now, I call it the two existential questions, Actually three, but I'll just do the two. It's the question, what do you want?
Okay, that's good.
I'll talk about that a bit. And the second one is, who do you want to be? You see? Now, I remember in 2020, when I was confronted with the idea, what do you want? The typical person, if you ask him, what do you want? It will be a blank, because what do I want? I don't know what I want, It took me more than 80 days to actually determine what I want. Now, I'm a futurist. So I stand 1 trillion years in the future. So what I want cannot be only for 70 years. It must be way beyond that,
That's good.
So I started to actually, and there's a statement of Jesus where he said, where your treasure is, your heart will be there. So then I asked myself, but where is my treasure? You see? Now for me, my treasure is life. The biggest gift that we can get, because it's eternal life, So the more I started to actually see that and ponder about, and then those three results actually came into play was, I want to be happy, I want to be healthy, I want to be wealthy, So in my journal, I write every day, because I call that my LSGV kind of formula, So I can tell you what makes me happy. Statements. I am, I belong.
That's good.
I think, I imagine, I fantasize about possibilities. I become, I create, I express, I act. That is connected to my existential why. What gives me meaning, my divine purpose, the value I contribute to life, So according to that, when you start to identify what you really want, and it cannot be only money, It cannot be only, it cannot be. It's just too shallow, So it must be deeper, you see. And once you start to identify that, now I remember in 2015, I wrote a program, Finding Your Voice, becoming self-aware about all kinds of stuff, So I've been thinking about this for many years already, So your beliefs will be aligned according to what you want, Happy, healthy, wealthy, happy, healthy. Today, I thank God for all my health issues I had, I'm healed, today. I'm at 57, the healthiest I've been in my life,
So I just want to stop you there. This whole idea that people think, the older I get, the more unhealthy I will get, and the weaker I'll get, and the worse I will get. That's not true.
Absolutely not.
That's good. I love that.
I've decided I'm going to be 95 plus. I made a decision, although, I cannot see 12 o'clock tonight, because that's in my hands. But I plan to be 95. I will drive my own car. I will do what I'm doing right now when I'm 95. So I'll do my push-ups, I'll do my stuff until I'm 95 plus.
Yeah, so a person shouldn't get to that place where like, I'm older now, my metabolism is slower, my body is weaker, so I'm just going to get overweight, let myself go, stop exercising, I'm getting old now. That's not the mindset that we want.
Absolute. My daughter is she's using a liquidizer, and I'm drinking Selderay and all this kind of stuff every day and so on. So she's basically coaching me on the rebounder and all kinds of stuff, So
Mm.
so you make decisions in terms of physical health,
I
mindset, attitude.
Yeah, I know our mutual friend Hein. He invited me. We're going Friday to somebody that's going to speak about the importance of your HP levels. I'm excited to hear what that's going to be all about. But Hein is also more or less your age, as I understand. And I
Yeah.
know also a person that's very much into health, exercises every single day. I remember I invited him to something once, and he was like, "No, that's my gym time," and it's so important. And I like the whole idea of who do I want to be, and I think it's a very important thing to be clear on that. To go, like you say, to journal it, to write it down. Yeah, I think it's amazing.
I've got pages of words
Mm.
that I'm identifying myself with, So for instance, I just give you three words. I've got about 18 sets of 3 words and a lot of more others. But I just wrote and said, I want to be kind,
Mm.
I want to be gentle, I want to be calm and peaceful.
Mm.
My default became, I'm calm. I was not a calm person before. For many years, I struggled with anxiety and stress. My whole family's programming was stressful. When something happens, our default is stress.
Mm.
My default became calmness,
Sure,
When there's a problem, I default to I'm calm and gentle and kind.
sure.
Because this morning I wrote, I'm kind, gentle, calm, peaceful, tranquil. So I send that to my subconscious mind every day. So whenever I encounter a challenge, my default is I'm calm. When you're calm, you can start thinking clearly. You can think. I want to give you an example. 2 weeks ago, normally I go for 1 week a month to Gauteng, you see, for business. So I flew back. Now I'm not very hard on locks and stuff, So I don't even know what is my suitcase lock, that combination lock. So something happened at the airport, 10:30 at night. I wanted to shower, and I couldn't, and so they changed my combination, and I've got no idea. Everything is in my suitcase, because I've been in the guest houses for the whole week, So what is my normal default? I became calm. I said, okay, I've got options now. I can break it, but I don't want to break it. It will cost me 2,000 rand, to replace it. So I can YouTube it. So let me see. I YouTube. So what do you do when you can't do that? And then I said, I remember when I bought that suitcase, that guy showed me something about the combination, Now I always tell myself I've got all the knowledge, all the insight, all the stuff, So then I just started. I'm telling you, in 10 minutes, it was open. And my combination was 1, 2, 3, It was open.
Now we know.
So I'll phone you. Albert, what is my combination? 1, 2, 3. So that's how you reinvent yourself, So when you are calm, say, okay, let's think options, So interesting.
That's amazing, Hendrik. I wanna ask one final question. Then we're gonna carry on with the other three next week.
Hmm.
Um, how important is repetition? Because I know of a lot of people, and I'm sure you know of a lot of people that try this stuff and they try it for a day, 2 days, a week, 2 weeks, and then later they say it doesn't work. Why repetition?
That's the language of the subconscious mind,
Repet yeah,
And there's something that you need to accept as the truth,
yeah,
you see. And if you must repeat it for 1,000 times or 2,000 times, you do it.
yeah.
Because it's like the old tape recorders, where you play, you press play and record, and then you could, record on that specific cassette or something. But we don't know where's the record button in the subconscious mind, because maybe on repeat 877, it records.
Oh, that's brilliant. And I remember you told me you started to reinvent or recreate or reshape your subconscious mind when you were 54. That means for 54 years, you've been programmed a certain way. Now, if you've been programmed a certain way for 54 years, you're not going to reprogram yourself in a week. You're maybe not even going to totally 100% reprogram yourself within a year. You might grow a lot in a year. But yeah, like I say, the thing is, like, a lot of people listen to this and they read books on the subconscious mind and the mindset and the renewing of the mind and everything. So I just want to encourage everybody that's watching. Listen, this takes repetition, and also final thing I want to say is, like, it doesn't help you wake up in the morning and you journal and you try to shape your mind, but the rest of the day you just go live in your old program again. You have to be conscious of not living in your old program the rest of the day, right?
Absolutely. That's why I became very sensitive for thoughts I'm thinking, feelings I'm feeling, words I'm saying, because I had to also redo my whole vocabulary, So I'm very conscious of every specific thing, because, and the whole thing of unlearning and relearning, continuous thing of unlearn, relearn, So in the beginning, it can be a very lonely journey because you sound totally strange to everybody around you, Totally, you're like an alien. But as you start doing it, but you must believe that's what you want. You must desire it, irrespective of how alone you feel. The results will come. It will come,
I remember when we did our branding with Hein and them, when we rebranded Mind Prosperity, he asked me like a lot of questions about our vision and our goal and what we're doing and everything. And then I remember I had like two-hour meetings with him where I had to give him information about everything we do, and they did this brilliant brand for us. The one thing I was so excited about was our slogan. They actually gave our slogan after they listened to everything I have to say. They said the slogan is step back. And they said, because what you're actually teaching people is to step back, to observe, and to decide. And this is the main thing we cannot just carry on. A lot of times people ask me, are you a motivational speaker? I'm like, no, I'm not a motivational speaker. The reason for that is if people are going in the wrong direction, I cannot motivate them. I'm a teacher, I'm a trainer, same as you. And this is what I want to encourage people. Take a step back. When you watch this video, take a step back. Maybe like you would say, take a pen, take a journal, take a step back and go reevaluate. Unlearn, relearn. I love that.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hendrik. This was amazing. Really appreciate you. I do believe people have learned a lot. And I'm looking forward to our next session for next week, where we're going to tackle the other three higher mental faculties. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Thank you, Albert.
Thank you, Hendrik. I really, really appreciate it. And we'll see everybody next week. Remember to subscribe to our channel. We are trusting to go to 1,000 subscribers, and you can really help us to get that. Also, send this video to somebody, because we do believe it's going to help them as well. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We're excited to see you next week for the other three higher faculties. Goodbye.